Today, you know, Patsy and I are going to discuss something that trips up a lot of folks trying to buy here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Mortgage underwriting. I know everybody's favorite topic. I'm going to talk. Well, all right, Patsy's changed her mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about what happens behind the scenes and the biggest red flags that can kill your real estate deal, as well as the quick fixes that can get you to the closing table smoother and faster. This is Living in Biloxi, where you get a healthy dose of realism and a bit of heart. I'm Micah Tinkler, the broker for Double Win Realty. Your Mississippi house sold or will buy it. I'm also a trained hypnotist and resident on the Mississippi Gulf Coast for the last 27 years and a realtor for the past 11 years. Whether you're a first-time buyer dreaming of waking up to Gulf breezes or a family relocating for that slower pace of life, this one's for you. Let's start with the basics. Mortgage underwriting is the lender's deep dive into your finances and the property to decide if they're comfortable loaning you the money. It happens after you're under contract and yet before we get to the closing table. On average, underwriting takes anywhere from a few days to a few weeks. However, the whole process from application to closing, typically 45 to 60 days. Here in Biloxi and the Gulf Coast, it can stretch a little longer because of flood zones, hurricane risk, and extra insurance requirements. Lenders are doing more than checking your credit. They're looking at your whole story. Income stability, debts, savings, and whether that house that you fell in love with is a solid risk for them. Now, let's discuss some of the red flags that could cause underwriters to pump the brakes on your dream home mortgage. Red flag number one, credit score or credit history issues. Your credit is king. Lenders want to see a solid score, usually 620 minimum. However, 740 or better gets you the best rates. Late payments, high credit card balances, collections, or even too many recent inquiries may raise eyebrows. As a quick fix, pull your free credit report from annualcreditreport.com right now and fix the errors. Pay down revolving debt to get your utilization under 30%. If you've got old medical bills or disputes, let's get them resolved or documented. There's a link down below and to a fellow that I've worked with in the past who's helped folks resolve their credit issues. Give yourself 30 to 60 days to see improvements before you get pre-approved. Small, consistent payments on time will make a big difference. Remember, the lenders are using a different credit model than what you're going to see on Credit Karma, and getting a loan pre-approval is often free. Look for the link below or for another excellent Mississippi Gulf Coast lender who can help you get your score checked on the lender's models. Red flag number two, high debt to income ratio. This is one of the most common killers. Debt to income ratio is your monthly debits divided by your gross monthly income. Most conventional loans want it under 43%, ideally lower. With higher home prices and insurance costs here on the coast, it's easy to creep over that line. As a quick fix, pay off smaller debts ahead of applying. Consolidate if it helps, and be honest with your loan officer early. Sometimes FHA or other programs are more flexible. Here in Biloxi, remember that flood insurance and wind coverage can add another $2,000 to $5,000 a year to your housing costs in high-risk zones. So factor that in up front. Red flag number three, employment gaps or recent job changes. Underwriters prefer stability. If you switch jobs recently, or you have gaps in employment, or you've gone from W-2 employment to self-employment, they're going to want explanations. Quick fix, have your employer write a letter confirming your start date, your salary, and that your position is permanent. For self-employed folks, and we have a lot of entrepreneurs here, Gather 2 years of tax returns, profit and loss statements, and bank statements. If you just got a raise or a promotion, get that documented too. Stability stories sell. Red flag number 4, unexplained large deposits or inconsistent bank statements. Big cash deposits without a clear paper trail scream, hey, where did this come from? Gifts from family, side gigs, or even selling personal items may look suspicious without an explanation. As a quick fix, document everything. For gifts, use a signed gift letter stating it's a gift with zero repayment expected. Keep records of transfers, sales, and bonuses. Avoid making any big moves in your accounts during the loan process. Avoid new cars. Avoid big shopping sprees. Freeze your finances like you're protecting a fragile sandcastle from high tide. Red flag number 5, property-specific issues. Some of these are big on the Gulf Coast. Low appraisals, title problems, insurance hurdles. In Biloxi, some homes are in FEMA flood zones. AE, VE. Lenders require flood insurance if it's a federally backed loan. And that policy is going to have to be in place before they're going to let closing go forward. Homes that need major repairs or fail to meet elevation requirements may cause headaches. So quick fix, get a pre-listing appraisal, or at least know the comps before you make an offer. Work with a realtor, 11-year veteran here, who knows flood zones inside and out. For insurance, you're going to want to shop early, the NFIP, the National Flood Insurance Program through FEMA, or private flood policies. Sometimes elevating utilities or making mitigation improvements may lower premiums. And always get a thorough home inspection. It's better to know if the roof or foundation issues are going to show up before underwriting digs into the property. Red flag number 6, changes during the process. This one hurts because it's preventable. You get pre-approved, then during underwriting, you open up new credit cards, you change jobs, or you have your credit score dip. Underwriters will recheck everything once we're under contract. That's them doing their verification job. As a quick fix, you're going to want to live like a monk from contract to closing, avoiding new credit card applications, no opening up a Dillard's card, avoid job changes if possible. You're going to want to communicate early and often with your loan officer and your realtor. Responsiveness speed things up. Here are a few extra tips for buying here in Biloxi and the Mississippi Gulf Coast. You're going to work with local lenders or loan officers who understand our market. They know the flood maps and insurance quirks. Quicken Loans may be lovely or one of those other big national lenders. However, you might consider using a local lender to deal with some of the local issues. You're going to want to get pre-approved before you fall in love with a house. In fact, get pre-approved before you start looking. We want to be able to show the seller that you are a serious, strong, and qualified buyer before we reach the negotiating table. We want to avoid being under contract and then finding out about an issue. You're going to want to build in extra time. Coastal properties sometimes need a little bit of extra scrutiny. I try to front load everything up front and do our due diligence in that early 10-day window. However, the unexpected can show up. Remember your reserves. Lenders love to see 2 to 6 months of mortgage payments in the bank after closing. Underwriting can be a little on the scary side. After all, it is the lender protecting their investment and you from buying something catastrophic. With preparation, you got this. Your next chapter on the Mississippi Gulf Coast is waiting to be written. Let's start the conversation. Visit my website at doublewinrealty.net for more resources and to see current listings. Or pick up the phone and call me directly at 601-688-4516. I answer my own phone and I'd be happy to answer your questions. I can provide you with specific details as well as priority access to all the homes that match your criteria that are available from all real estate companies on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, including foreclosures, bank-owned properties, and distressed homes. Plus, I get you access to off-market and unlisted homes that you may not find online. If you prefer, you may book a free zero-obligation real estate consultation via Zoom at doublewinerealty.net/contact. Please remember, I donate 10% of the income generated from your business referrals to the Wildlife Rehabilitation Outpost, which helps out the raccoons and the possums and the squirrels and the turtles that get clipped by cars, and Crusaders for Veterans, helping financially distressed vets across the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Please help me help, the vets, and the wild pets. If you feel this was helpful, if you appreciate this heart-filled approach, do me a favor, click the like button. It really helps me to reach more folks like you. Subscribe to Living in Biloxi for more real talk about life on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, from the best neighborhoods to the hidden local secrets. And drop a comment below. What's your biggest question about visiting the Mississippi Gulf Coast with your family? I promise I read every comment. Thanks for watching, y'all. I'll see you in the next one.